tonight at all. Just wanna watch them stars fall. But you don't wanna try to make up dreams just to be seen. I wanna lay here beside you, oh quiet. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye. Oh, it's not what we see, it's what we choose to be.
What a beautiful day. That tree has me worried because it's so close to the house. We had high winds and rain yesterday, but look how beautiful the sky is today. Gorgeous.
Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. We're beyond good, I've never been so ready. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know.
Hi guys.
It's where we
I'm sitting here knitting. Welcome to Meadowsweet Farm Fiber Arts Design Studio. My name's Bonnie and today is April 2nd, 2023. And it's Sunday afternoon. I think it's around 3 o'clock. I just thought I'd come on and share some of the things that I've been working on over the last couple months. So, how are you? It's been probably a little bit more than a month. I think the last time I podcasted was sometime in March. And I tried to podcast a couple weeks ago, and it was on a Sunday, and Stephen and I were headed back to Bluefield at the time. So as soon as I got everything set up, he came in. So, and I'm seeing a shadow right there, and I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I think that's better. It was the edge of the rim on the stand. So yeah, I think it was sometime early March the last time I podcasted. So I think I'm on track. I'm pretty on schedule. So it is a gorgeous day today. Absolutely beautiful. This is, I guess I should introduce myself in case there's a few new people. My name's Bonnie, and I live in southwestern Pennsylvania, and I live on a small farm. I have horses, 2 horses, they're rescue. I have 6 chickens. I have my Dober person, Gabe, and I have Scarlet Kitty, and I have 2 daughters that are well on their way to a successful, beautiful life. So anyway, and here I am today. This is a fiber arts, excuse me. I got hooked on, is it Simply Bake? No, what is it? Simply Bagel or something. And it's that seasoning. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's got sesame seeds. And I just had some, and a piece is stuck in the back of my throat. Anyway, this is a podcast about knitting, spinning, weaving, I am really getting into some repurposing, which I will share with you later on today. And just about any fiber arts, it's gardening, it's foraging, it's natural dyeing. I love all of this. And I was thinking about this the other day. I started to do knitting all the way back in, I think it was 1991. I bought a knitting machine, I bought a spinning wheel, and Jacqueline, I think, was just maybe 2 years old at the time. So I've been doing this for a very long time, and I have tried just about everything you can imagine. Quilting, which I will share all those things with you. So, but yes, this is just all about the fiber arts, and I also really enjoy connecting the history of textiles to makers of the past, family members of the past who have done quilting and knitting and weaving and all those different things. So I think it's, I've heard Sarah from Fibertrack talking about place and person and, just the origins of where things, how our textiles have evolved over time. So that is, that's what I'm really passionate about. I really, really am. I was a museum curator at Meadowcroft Rock Shelter and Historic Village for, I know it's longer than 15 years. I was officially there for 15, but I volunteered for several years before that. So, and now I am a communications professor, an associate professor at a small university in southern West Virginia, and I am also the department chair. So my time is extremely limited to, I try to get in a little bit of crafting every day, but I do travel quite a bit. I'm on the road a lot, so it doesn't leave much time unless someone else is driving. then I can indulge in my knitting. So the last time I talked to you, I was finishing up my mom's scarf, which, hi Mom, how are you? My mom watches my podcast. I let her know whenever the podcast is on, and she watches it pretty faithfully. So, but I'm gonna have to stop saying ugh. Anyway, I made my mom a shawl, and I will put a picture in here right now. And this was a Kate Davies shawl. It was called the Observatory, and I used Kate Davies yarn for it. I wasn't really thrilled with the texture of the yarn when I was working with it, but it turned out beautiful. It was really the perfect yarn for that shawl. So I do have some other skeins of that. This one was a red one, and I do have some other skeins that I'm going to make some more of those because I think they were really pretty. So the next thing that I'm working on right now, I had to take a break. I was working on a shawl for myself, but my daughter Jacqueline, when I went to visit her this past summer in Connecticut, we went to a local yarn shop, and I can't remember the name of the yarn shop. But anyway, I got this Loopy Mango yarn for her. Oops. Couple squidgies on there, and I got this yarn for her, and I am making, I hope the picture is on here, yes it is, this is the exact, okay, so puff sleeve top in Dream. So I have one panel is completely done, and this is actually the small, or extra small, I think I did for her, because she's tiny. So, and it's so light and airy. So the pattern is super easy. This is really going to be nice when I block it up. So this is how far, look at these ginormous needles that you use. These are outrageously huge. So this is, I think these are number 19, 15 millimeter. And so I have the other panel, and then I just have to put the sleeves on and I'll be done. And this goes, I mean, I am a super, super slow knitter, and I'm doing this pretty fast. So I have this left, and I hope I have enough. I think I should have enough for the sleeves. If not, I'll have to order more. But yeah, this is a really fast knit. If you want a fast project, it's very light and very airy. And let me show you what I did with the pattern for myself. So I'll show you. I'll be right back. Okay, so when Jacqueline and I went into the yarn shop, I got this Lopi Mango in blue, and I made this ginormous, really big. So I did the two, look how big that is, and I can stretch it out even more. I did the two panels, and I have to seam it up on the sides and then put the sleeves in, and I'll be done with this. But for some reason, I just kind of left it go. I don't know why, but I did. So this has been done since early, like September, because I was working on this when I went back to school in the fall. So these are my two Lopi Mangoes. And so I've got those two that are almost finished. I've got one FO of knitting. Now let me share with you my weaving. Okay. So I have more looms than I could ever possibly use. I'm too embarrassed to say how many looms I have, but I love weaving. And I have two of these. They're the triangle looms, and it's just one continuous strand of yarn that you weave on a big triangle. So the triangle loom, and I will take you over there in just a minute after I show you some of the shawls that I worked on. You can adjust it. I think the widest top part of the shawl is 7 feet. And then I think it goes down to 6, 5, and 4. And then there's a woman, Carol Lee. I think she's in Missouri. And she's the first person I've ever seen, with these looms. And I saw her at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival years ago. And my first triangle loom that I have, a friend of mine made me one. And it's the nails that you loop the yarn around are very specifically spaced. And if you get those nails off just by a fraction of a hair, it kind of skews the knitting a little bit. But textiles are forgiving, and there's lots of ways that you can remedy those things. So I'll show you an example of one of the triangle shawls that I did that I had to kind of alter. The yarn that probably is recommended is a bulky weight yarn, and this is the yarn, the size yarn that you can use. Now, you can use fingering weight, and you can, you know, hold a couple strands together if you want. There's all kinds of really unique things that you can do with this loom. So if you don't have space for a floor loom, this might be an alternative. If you like to make shawls and like to do some woven items, this might be an alternative for you. Now, this is probably the very first shawl that I wove, and you can see how wide. I'll put these on my little mannequin so you can get a picture. You can see what they look like. But I think this is I don't think this is the full. This definitely isn't the full width. I think this is the 6. Might even be 5. And I made this years ago, and the yarn that I used is it's mule spun. And so I think this is merino, and because it's so short stapled, I think they used some kind of machine that was very similar to like spinning cotton. So this came from Marhaven, and I think I know she's not in business anymore. And I bought this. I loved her yarn when she was selling it. I think this is almost all the colors that she offered in this yarn. There might be one more that's like a more brownish color, but the grays and the pinks, and it's just very soft and very muted. And I made this years ago. My daughter Jacqueline was about 10, and I had her in the kitchen modeling this for me. So this is one. And like I said, I'll put these on my little mannequin so you can see them. So this one, I took off the loom. I had this is the full width. I'm so sorry. You'll see it on the mannequin. But now this one I was using, this was a killer, and I literally had this on the loom for a couple years because this was absolutely a bugger to weave. And I started weaving this and using every nail, and then I thought, I'll just never get this done, because what was happening, if you look at this yarn, it's really pretty yarn, and it's got these little things. It's mohair, and it's just got these little flecks of ribbon coming out. I think you can see the ribbon. And it's beautiful yarn, but because you have to run the yarn across and back, mohair and weaving, that you can do it. You can absolutely do it, and you can make lovely, lovely blankets and scarves and things, but on this loom, mohair is, I think it's really difficult to do. So it just stuck. And when you're you have to make, normally you wouldn't have to make a shed, which is there are threads that go up and threads that go down on this loom too. And you have to open up the shed or just slide the yarn over if it's not yarn that's really sticky like mohair is. But this just grabbed onto itself and just stuck. Oh, it was like one pass took me forever. It was really, really horrible. So you can see, I tried to felt this. I'm gonna do another felting technique. I think will actually work a little better. But there's a little snag here. But anyway, it's nice now that it's done. I love it. It's, you know, it's really light and airy. So in the summer, if I'm going for a walk and it's a little bit chilly, just drape this over you, and it's really nice. And I was just so disgusted because it was taking so long that there's like no real rhyme or reason to the pattern. And I'll insert the picture of all of these. So, and then my last one, I'm really enjoying this. I really enjoy the process. And then this is the last one. Excuse me. Okay, and I'm not sure what the yarn is with this, but this was very thin yarn. And so what I did is, after this was done, I put this in the washing machine, and then I put it in soaking wet. I put it in the dryer and it felted. And I really, really like this a lot. This turned out really nice. Okay, so here's the shawl pins, and I'm not going to take them out of the bag because I already lost. They come with these little pins, and you just stick it through. This is a dog. I don't know if you can see that, but they're so cute. So I have a bird, the dog, and then there's the heart. I'm sorry, it's not. You get the gist. And then this is a little sea. This is a little sea turtle. So, and then I just, you know, it really makes it look really, really nice. I just wanted to give you a little background on these looms. I don't think that the triangle shape is fairly old. I think I first saw these in the mid-90s at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, and I think it's Carol Lee, but I think the name of the company is Hill Creek Yarns, I think, and she's got a variety of different shapes. She's got ones that are triangle, different sizes of triangles, and she's also got square ones and rectangular ones. So she's got a variety of different shapes of looms. But the interesting thing about this is there's no pre-warping, and basically it's one continuous strand of weaving, and they are a little pricey, but compared to purchasing a table loom or a floor loom, I think if you're really loving to make a variety of different shawls and using different patterns and textures of yarn, I think this is a good tool to have. So, and again, I'm not endorsing anything. That's probably, I think she was one of the first to develop and patent these looms. Okay, so this is the triangle loom, and I have it extended all the way out to 7 feet. But there are, let me see if I can show you. There are nails here and down there, and you can make it smaller if you want to. Now I'm going to pull the camera close up, and you can see that it's got nails on all three sides of the triangle. This is the tripod that it stands on. I'm trying to do this. Let me see. You can see this is the tripod. It sits on these pegs right there. There's like different levels that you can see. It sitting on that peg right there. And there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to sit and do this, you could. But you don't have to have you really don't need the tripod. If you put just a couple nails in the wall, you could. If you had a little studio space, you could just hang it on a wall. And when you're done, you can just disassemble it. This would slide easily under a bed. And I'm not endorsing her product at all. It's just, these are really nice. They're, it's not just triangles. They do come in squares, and they come in different shapes, but it's just one continuous strand. So I think it's, I'm trying to think. I want to say 700 yards is the amount that you use. No, I think it's like almost 8 ounces of yarn, because I was weighing my yarn out. But I don't even remember where I got this. I think I got this on Facebook. And I think this is, well, it is merino. I do know that. So let me pull the camera up close. The one thing that I want to tell you, I have this, I'm weaving this pretty tight. So for example, if you were playing the guitar, it would be not quite as tight. What you don't want to do is, in your very first row, you can see you want to make these first couple rows super, super tight, because what happened with the one that I had to turn the edge over, my orange one, that one I didn't make tight, and the loops just got, now I'll pull these up. You can see it's easy to pull up. It gets a little skewed as you're weaving, but I'll pull these strands up after I'm done, because what you do is you just loop through loop. This is all woven. You just loop through loop, and it gives a really pretty, really nice crocheted edge. So when I get to that stage, it'll probably be the next podcast. I will show you when I take this off. But these little sides, as you're crocheting each one of these loops at the very end, after you're all done, these just pop off, and you just loop by loop by loop by loop. If you want to add fringe, you need to add the fringe after this is woven. And I like the fringe. I think it looks nice, but I am going to try a couple different techniques as well. Sorry, my face is only half. Okay, so let me pull the camera up close so you can see how I do this. And it's so easy. Okay, so let's see. Okay, all right. So I just throw my yarn on the floor and hope that Scarlet Kitty doesn't attack it. But some people like to use a tool, like like to do tapestry weaving, a batten. I just use my fingers. But what you can see is one thread is over, one is under, all the way down. Okay, so you start at the top, and I do a couple at a time. The one that's over, and I just grab with my fingers, and I do you can see which one is under and which one is over. So it's every other one. And I use my fingers just kind of like a hook, and I just and you get pretty fast at doing this. Then I like to snug everything up. I'm going to go in and push everything over here. You can use like you can use a weaving tool to push things over. I like to use like a hair pick. Seems to work. There we go. You have to pay attention. This isn't the best light that I'm working in right now, but I can see these pretty good. And I have made, believe me, I have made mistakes. There is a technique that you can use where you can go back and correct if you make a mistake, if you do like 2 overs or 2 unders. But I usually just correct it and keep on rolling. I don't go back. So you might see a skipped thread in the weaving here or there. Okay, so this gets placed on the bottom, the next nail, and then you put this one on the bottom nail on the opposite side, and then you straighten this out, make it taut, straighten it out as best as you can, and then that thread gets placed on the top nail. So that gets placed over that nail, and then you start the process again. Very easy. It's not hard. It's really, really simple. So, like I said, I'm gonna be doing quite a few of these because I have shows that I'm gonna be doing over the summer. So I'll share some more footage of the things that I'll be working on with my different yarns, and I'll show you some of the yarns that I'm. Then this is the last of the Marhaven, so it is gonna be these 3 colors. So, and I have a lot of this, so I'll probably make a full size 7 feet wide. Okay. It wasn't a very good video of how to do it, but I'll get some better footage as I continue to work on this. I just wanted to introduce it to you. They're really a lot of fun, and they make beautiful, beautiful garments. I have taught classes on this, and you can do this. You can make one of these in a 6-hour class. That's how easy it is. I hope you enjoyed this video about weaving on a triangular loom, and I hope that if you have the opportunity to try one, I hope you do, because they're really a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye for now.